first ever Next Steps Honor Band. We are so pleased to bring this performance to you today. These kids from different communities in the area have been working really hard today. They have spent so much time with those instruments on their face, with those sticks in their hands. They've done an awesome job. They've been real troopers. We want to say a few thank yous really quick to get them out of the way, and then we're going to get ourselves started here. So we want to say thank you to all the students, first of all, who are in the seats. You guys have been amazing. I have enjoyed this experience so much, and I hope that you've enjoyed this experience. Also, I hope you go home with great memories of today. Thank you to participating schools and directors, and they worked really hard with the kids today also. They took them out for some individual small group sectional time, so each of the kids, in addition to working with our guest director today, also got to work with directors from the other schools on their instruments, both to help polish up music, but also to do some specific technique stuff on their instruments, which we thought was a really cool addition to this day for the kids. Parents, thank you for being here in attendance and supporting your students, and thank you to HMU and FMCTC who are both here streaming this event for us. And without further ado, we're going to bring to our stage our guest director for the day, and you can read all about him in the program, Mr. Doug Gibson.
The opening selection was by Steve Shanley, and he's a composer from here in Iowa. And it was premiered by a 6th grade band that he wrote it for out of the Cedar Rapids area. And it was performed at the IBA conference in May a few years ago. And it's always been a favorite of mine, and I felt that this would be a great opportunity for these kiddos to do this, and they did an amazing job with that. I think that there are many layers in there, and I think if you listen carefully, they were handling it extremely well for only being together for a few short hours together. It seemed like a long time to them, but it's a really short time to be putting together a sophisticated piece of music such as that. So from me to them, that's pretty amazing to start off the concert with the Excelsior Fanfare by Steve Shanley. Our next selection is titled The Water is Wide, and it's just a piece that is important in teaching our youngest members to play musically and not be afraid to emote and interpret music, to actually get in with some feelings. And hopefully we will demonstrate some of that in our performance of this today. The Water is Wide. We hope you enjoy it. As they are getting set in between pieces, I'm going to say a few thank yous in between a few of these to let the percussion get set and kind of reset things. First of all, thank you to Tom Cronin for extending the offer for me to have an opportunity to come here today for the Next Steps Honor Band. I think this is an amazing opportunity for the students, and I know Tom put a whole lot of effort into this to make it happen. And I also want to thank the Harlan administrators for, first of all, approving it and supporting it, because without that, none of this would happen and they wouldn't be here today, nor would I. But this has been an amazing day. Thanks to the parents that have been working here today. There have been a lot of them that have been around helping and supporting throughout the day. And to the Harlan High School students. Specifically, I had a group of wonderful high school students that worked in a sectional of the percussion. And it was just simply amazing to watch them interact with students they didn't know, and to do it in a nurturing and a teaching sort of way. It was amazing. I wish you could have been here to see that and witness that like I got to. And I also want to thank all of the band directors from these schools that are participating today. They're providing an opportunity for their students I grew up in a really small town called Newmarket, and actually the school closed when my sister was a sophomore in high school. And so she ended up going to Clarinda. That's where it's at if you are trying to think where Newmarket is. But for me, that experience didn't happen, and these kids get to do that. For me, I would love to have an opportunity as a sixth grader to play with a band of more than 12. That would have been amazing. There were only 14 students in my class. So that's putting things in perspective in a different kind of way. It was an amazing experience, even though that was the case. And my band experience was 7th through 12th grade was all in one band. And so for this to be happening, keep supporting it, keep supporting your kids in the activity, keep supporting your band directors, because it takes all of us doing it together. And I told the students earlier today that I asked them to raise their hand and tell them who they were in sports. There were a lot of hands that went up that were in a lot of sports. I was as well. I encourage them to stay with it all. Stick with everything that you possibly can, because you only get to do this one go-round. Do it all, and do it for as long as you can. And without any further ado, me babbling anymore, let's go on to our next selection. And it is by Carol Britton Chambers. And it is a really fun tune titled Rhythmania. And we'll just dig into our rhythms and keep our pencils in time and keep our clapping as it should be. We hope you enjoy Rhythmania.
I'm sure there's more that Mr. Gibson has to say as well. You're like, hi guys. This has been amazing to see come together today. My heart is very, very full right now. I've really enjoyed this. And I hope, again, my greatest hope, kids, is that you have enjoyed this experience. do you remember how we gave band claps earlier for Mr. Gibson? Can we give Mr. Gibson some band claps for all his hard work with you today as well? Doug has done a wonderful job with these kids, sharing his years of experience. He is an expert in teaching kids and connecting with kids, and it's been so much fun to see him share his love of music with your children. And I would say, and I'm sure Mr. Paulson would say, with our kids, because we really do, as teachers, we really think of you guys as our kids. This has been absolutely wonderful. And I know I've already said many of those thanks out there. I do need to say one more really big thanks to the Harlan Community Music Boosters. Thanks to the Music Boosters for the funding for this event and the manpower for this event. And Doug already thanked the wonderful kids. Thank you, Mr. Carney, for sharing your wonderful kids with us. And the high school kids were awesome today in helping to put this on. Kids on stage, I don't know if you understand how many moving parts there are to put together a day like this today, but as many kids as there are on stage, there were people helping and supporting to make this happen. Absolutely. It's just wonderful to see the community of Southwest Iowa and of Western Iowa come together and support this, and hopefully for many, many years to come. So also thank you to anyone who in the least way brought this cool experience to your kids. And again, it's just wonderful seeing this all come to life. I've personally, very personally been wanting to do this for many, many years. And so my heart is full. Kids, I hope your hearts are full as well. And thank you to everyone in any way who had the least little bit to do with helping pull this event off today. Mr. Gibson, I'm going to turn it over to you one last time.
Our final selection is Afterburn Relaunch. It is titled Afterburn Relaunch because Randall Standridge, the composer of this piece, originally wrote it, and there were some parts that, let's just say they played the single same note for almost the entirety of the entire piece in the same exact way. And I think that he's addressed that. An example would be in the clarinet part, another example, because they are actually being stretched. Of all of these pieces, I was asked to pick a piece that was a stretch piece. This is the stretch piece that you're going to hear. This has challenges in the tuba section, the baritone section as well, because their part was, let's just say it was less than stellar, and probably maybe to the boring side of things when it was originally written. And he took ownership of the back from the publishing company that he had put it into to begin with, and it's now his. And he rewrote it and called it Relaunch. And I think that the kids have had a great time with it. I've heard many of them singing it around the building today, even when they were on break. I may have even heard a few of them playing it on break. I'm not sure why, but they were. Which tells me one thing: a composer has done their job when a young musician is walking around singing it as they go out of a rehearsal or out into their own time and space. And Randall Standridge does that. I'm sure many of you students behind me have already played a different piece by Randall Standridge. Maybe or maybe not. It's one of my students' favorite composers. And so we have one on almost every concert right now because of that. So we hope you enjoy Afterburn Relaunch by Randall Standridge. Thank you for being here.
gotta talk to the kids now. Doesn't talk to you, I gotta talk to you.
I'm not sure I can talk that slow. Thank you so much for allowing me to work with your wonderful children. I want you to know that there were very few times that I had to stop the rehearsal to address any kind of talking to each other. Honestly, that doesn't happen in my own rehearsal. I'm like, maybe it helps that they're not sitting right next to somebody from their own school. We did take time to introduce ourselves left and right. So ask your child. You know the person sitting to your right. You know the person sitting to your left. If they can't tell you the way, they don't get ice cream. No, just joking. Really, it was a great time. Thank you so much for being here, supporting that, and supporting this activity, especially this event. It's a great new event that's happening. Next Steps on Band, and thank you so much. Safe.